What's up, you guys? So today we're doing an oil change for my 2025 Honda Civic Si. I'm sitting at a little bit under 10K because I did my first interval oil change at a little bit under 5K, so I'm just kind of following that order. But the things you'll need is full synthetic old W20. I just went with Mobil 1 Extended Performance just because I heard so many good things about them. And you also need a oil filter. I decided to go with the Honda OEM oil filter right here. And I actually got a 3-pack from Amazon, and I'll link that down below. And it comes with a new crush washer as well, which is nice. And then you could use an oil filter socket, or you could just use a wrench to get it off. Decided to just get one just because it'll make it much easier. And then you need an oil pan, and then you also need a funnel just to get your oil in there. And as for the oil, it could be any brand, and just make sure you have full synthetic OW20. You should be good to go. Then you also need a 17mm socket wrench to get the drain plug out. But let's go ahead and get started. So first thing, obviously make sure you jack up your car nice and safe. And then what I did was actually let the car run to running temperature. Not for too long, just for a little bit, just so the oil flows a little bit better. And just make sure you don't let it run for too long. And then we're gonna go ahead and remove the oil cap here. Just go ahead and remove that. And then I'm just gonna leave it just like that, just so the oil drains faster. And that's pretty much it for the top side of things. So let's go ahead and go underneath. So underneath, we're going to go ahead and remove the skid plate, which has 8 screws total. We have 6 flathead screws, and then we have 2 Phillips screws all the way in the back there. And then so we're going to go ahead and remove those. These flathead screws, they're just the one that you twist halfway and then it comes out, just like so. Then you're just going to do that all the way around. And once I get it out, I'll show you guys the screws that I'm talking about. And one thing, if you don't want to get your garage floor dirty, I have an oil spill mat. This is optional, completely up to you. I just got it because the parking lot just got redone, so I don't want to stain it. Just being respectful of everything when it comes to doing my car stuff, so completely optional, up to you. And when you have those screws off, it should just pop out nice and easy. So here's a better look. There's actually 4 flathead screws. I misspoke earlier. So those are the ones that came from here, here, there, and there. And we have 4 of the Phillips head screws, which is 1, 2, 3, and 4. And before we move forward, actually, there's the maintenance pages on your owner's manual. So if you're not sure, there's the different types of things you can inspect, and also how to do your own oil change. And if you're not sure how much you need on there, you can also just check everything on here. So it'll start at 601, and then you can just go about and see what you need to double check. And here's the recommended oil on page 618. You can also check that too. And then 622, changing the engine oil and oil filter. And then the recommended amount of oil for the 1.5 liter engine models versus the 2.0 liter engine models will also be there. And yeah, so that's about it. Let's go ahead and move on, and you can check that out for yourself if you want to. So now you want to get your drip pan and then a 17mm socket. And then you also want to place it where this bolt is so that it goes directly onto your drip pan, so you don't get it everywhere. Just be careful, and it shouldn't take that much force. A little bump to your wrench should take it off. So now it's nice and loose. And then I'm gonna go ahead and get my drip pan here, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna loosen it up. And from here, once you reach the end of the bolt here, I'm holding it at the end. Let it drip just like that. And now it's draining. you're just gonna let it drain until it's all gone. So while you're letting it drip, you can actually get your drain bolt, and then you want to take the old crush washer off. And you want to make sure you throw that away, and then you want to grab your new crush washer, and then we're going to put that on there, just like so. And while you're under here, you can actually just double check everything. Like for me, I checked my 271 motor mount, it's still holding up pretty great. Then I also checked my 271 front pipe, and it's all good. So once it's all good, I'm gonna go ahead and grab the drain plug with the new crush washer, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and tighten it for right now. And then we're gonna torque it to 30 foot-pounds with torque wrench, and we should be good to move on from there. Grab my torque wrench, and then we'll torque this down. Here we go, and that should be good to go. So now we're gonna go ahead and remove the oil filter. I'm using a 65 to 67 millimeter oil cap socket for your wrench, but you don't have to do that. I just wanna do it just so it's easier, because this thing will come off pretty easy anyway. So let's go ahead and get this out, and it's already spinning. And just make sure you have your drip pan ready so that it doesn't get everywhere. So once it's loose, you can just take this wrench out, and then we'll just go by hand from here. There we go. So it's draining. Just take it out all the way. And let that drain as well. And once that is all done dripping, let's go ahead and get your new oil filter. So get your new oil filter, and then you can even check your oil to see if there's any metal chunks in it. There was a bug that flew in here, so I thought it was a metal chunk, but it's not. But everything's pretty good. Oil is a good color. And what I'm actually gonna do is I'm just gonna pre-fill this just a little bit. You don't have to do this, but I'm just gonna go ahead and do it. It's not recommended, but I'm just using some of the new oil, and I'm just gonna go ahead and put just a little bit in there. Just like that. And then you wanna take some of the excess oil and put it around the gasket here, just so it's easier to take it off next time you do an oil change. But you could even use the old oil that you took off and put some on the gasket itself. So as long as you do that, you're all set to go to put it back on. So beforehand, I'm just gonna clean up some of the oil here, just because I'm a clean freak. And once you're all done, get your new oil filter, and then we're just gonna screw it on here. It should be fairly easy. Just make sure when you tighten this up, you could just use your hand to hand tighten it. Fit snug should be good. Doesn't have to be too tight. You don't even have to use the socket, the oil cap socket that I used earlier. And as long as it's a good tightness, you should be good to go. And once you have that all set, just double check everything. 30 foot-pounds for the drain bolt, and then just hand tighten the oil filter. And then we're gonna go ahead and put the skid plate back on, and just put the screws we took off back on earlier. So skid plate is on, just double check everything and make sure everything is secure and snug. Now let's go ahead and get the car down and put on some new oil. Let's get this bad boy down. Nice and easy here. There we go. A little too fast, but that's all right. Now let's go ahead and grab our funnel here. I honestly don't know why I got such a big funnel, but that's all right. You want to grab your oil, and then once again, we're going to do 3.7 quarts of oil, and we should be good. And once you're all done, we go ahead and put back the oil cap here. Now all that's left is let's go ahead and turn on the car, let it run for a few minutes, and then we can also double check to see if there's any leaks or any issues, and we should be good. Now we're just gonna let it run for a little bit. So once you let it run for a little bit, turn it off and let it sit for a few minutes just for it to cool down. We're gonna go ahead and check the dipstick here. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove it, and I'm gonna wipe it. And then I'm gonna go ahead and put it back in. And you wanna go ahead and remove it just to check it. And it's super hard to see, but I'm about like in the middle of that. So that's a good amount of oil, and should be between the upper and lower mark. But as long as you're in between those two marks, you should be good. If you're a little bit over in the middle, that's totally fine. No issues there. So let's go ahead and reset the dash. So to reset it, I'm gonna go to your home screen, vehicle settings, and we're gonna go to maintenance info, and then it says B1 on here, tire rotation, which I'll actually do the next day because I'm losing daylight. So I'm still just gonna reset it. And then I'm gonna reset oil and filter, reset. It's gonna go ahead and reset. So everything's good. And then I'm actually gonna reset the tire rotation once I finish it tomorrow, and we should be good to go from there. So once you're done resetting what you need to reset when it comes to the codes on your dash, you can take your used oil and take it to an Advanced Auto Parts, AutoZone, and even O'Reilly Auto Parts. I just took mine to AutoZone and they drain it for you, and they also take your used oil filter with no problem. So you can just take it to any of those stores and they'll take care of it for you as well. All right, so moving on, I'm actually gonna go ahead and rotate my tires. And when I did my first oil change, I actually didn't have these on. I put them on a little bit after the first one. So these have about 6,000 miles on them, and that's within the range of 6,000 to 8,000 miles to rotate them, and these are aftermarket, so that falls perfectly with every other oil change that you can do your tire rotations. So I'm just kind of going with that interval, but these are non-directional tires, and I have a front wheel drive car, so I'll show you guys how to do that properly. So when it comes to rotating your tires for your front wheel drive car, I'm just gonna do the forward cross. So meaning I'm gonna take the front tires, the front left and the front right, and they're gonna go ahead and go to the back. And then these back ones are gonna go up there. But the back left is gonna need to be in the front right, and then the back right is gonna be in the front left. So once I got the rear ones to the front, I'm gonna go ahead and flip them. So let's go ahead and jack up the car here, and I'm just gonna jack up one side at a time because I only have 2 jack stands, so that's what I'm gonna do. Go ahead and jack up your car safely, and it doesn't need to be that high. As long as you can get the jack stands under there and the wheels are off the ground, you're all good. From here, we're gonna take the front right, and we're gonna bring it back to the back right, and then this back right wheel will go to the front right. And from here, just go ahead and remove the lug nuts. And just be extra careful when taking this out. And same for the front. And just be extra careful. And there we go. From here, when you actually take your wheels off, you can just check everything too, like your rotors, your brake pads, and your suspension components, and even your brake lines and also your brake hoses. You can just double check to see if there's any damages or like any uneven wear on your rotors or anything like that. But my car's still pretty new, so my brake pads and everything else is still pretty good. No issues. The only thing I'm gonna do is probably have a little bit more of anti-seize lubricant on my hub-centric rings. They're on there right now, but I'm gonna go ahead and clean them and add a new layer just so it's all good. I'm gonna clean this up too, and we'll be good to go. So here are my hub-centric rings. Pretty filthy, but I inspected them. There's no cracks or anything on them, so they're all good. I'm just gonna put some more anti-seize on them just so it's fresh and good to go. So when it comes to anti-seize, for me, just put like a fingertip of an amount, and I spread it all around just so it's nice and even on there. As long as it's covered, you're pretty much set to go for those. And all we got to do is put this back onto the rotors. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and put this back on. It goes on here, nice and smooth. And then same thing for the front one. Put this back on as well. And as long as it's flush on there, it's good to go. And before putting back the wheels, I made sure to mark them so I can remember which one is which, and make sure you check to see if there's any uneven tire wear. But these tires have a lot of life in them left because they really have any mileage on them, so they're pretty good and no issues. And one thing I love about these tires is that they have these markings on them, so we have dry, wets now. So if any of those you can't see, that means these are probably not going to be too good for that type of weather or environment. So just be aware of that if you have Continentals like I do. So let's go ahead and put these on. So front right, it's going to go to the back right. So let's get this on. And then when it comes to the lug nuts, what I'm pretty much doing is I'm just hand tightening it for right now, and then we'll torque them later. And just make sure you don't cross thread them, because then that's going to be another issue, and we don't want any more problems. There we go. Let's do the front one now. So the back right wheel goes to the front right wheel, and then once we have the front ones to the back, we're going to go ahead and switch this to the left front. Then the one from the left front will go to the right front. There we go. Then same thing, just hand tighten the lug nuts for now. And these ones I'm just tightening up for right now, and I'm not going to torque them since we're going to take them out later. I just don't want to take this down and then this thing just flops out. So you don't want that to happen. And once you have both set, we're going to go ahead and take this down and then do the same process on the left side. So I have it all down, and for the back rear, since this is all set, I'm actually going to go ahead and torque them. So each lug nut is going to be 80 foot-pounds of torque, and I'm going to go ahead and do that for the back ones. And then the front ones, those are the ones that we're going to go ahead and torque later, since once again we're going to go ahead and flip them. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten these down in a star pattern just so everything is nice and even. And that's good to go. So I got this side up now, and same thing, just take the lug nuts out, and we'll do the same for the front one. There we go. Carefully pull it out. Now the front ones. Take this out. There we go. And when you have your tires, same thing, just inspect everything and see if there's any damage or anything that you should be worried about. But same thing for me. Just gonna go ahead and take the hub-centric rings, double check my brake pads, my rotors, my suspension components, brake lines, and so forth, and I'll be good to go. So once you have the thread nice and inspected, we can go ahead and put it back on. So the front left goes to the back left, and let's go ahead and get this on. There we go. I'm just hand tightening the lug nuts once again. And that's the last one. Let's go ahead and put the ones for the front. So here's the back left going to the front left, but in reality, back left goes to front right. So put this on here for now, and there we go. And that's the last one. Now we're just gonna lower it down, and then we'll torque the ones for the back, since those are good to go. Nice and easy here. And we'll torque these ones first. Once again, do the same pattern, which is the star pattern. There we go. Now the last thing we're going to do is we're going to jack up the front on both sides and then flip the wheels to the other side, and we should be good with the tire rotation. So I got the front of the car jacked up. Now we're going to take this wheel and put it to the front left, and we should be all done. Take this off one last time. Here goes my hub centric ring. And I'm just going to put this back on here. So I got the rear right there. I'm going to take this one off and put this one on the front right. Here we go. So I'm going to go ahead and transfer this one over, just so I don't get things mixed up. Pull this one on this side. What I'm going to do is put the rear right to the front left first, and then I'll do the rear left to the front right last. And for now, hand tighten. And once we have the car down, we'll torque both sides. And last but not least, let's get this thing on. There we go. And tighten the lug nuts for now. And now I got the front down. Now let's go ahead and torque both sides. So same thing, 80 foot-pounds. Star pattern. There we go. And to finish up this side. And all done. So when you have it all torqued down, we're going to go back to the dash here, and then we're going to go to maintenance info. And then the last thing we're going to reset is the tire rotation. So click that one and then click reset, and you're all good to go. So for your next maintenance, we have code A or code B, whichever one you have, and that's what you'll have to do next time. So that pretty much sums up how to do your own oil change and tire rotation. Just make sure you know what kind of tires you have, directional or non-directional, and follow the right pattern. And then for the oil change, just make sure you have the right oil filter as well as the right oil to put into your engine. And for the torquing of the lug nuts, after the first 25 miles of driving, just make sure you retorque them. And then 50 to 100 miles, just double check the lug nuts and see if you need to retorque them again. But that's it. So thank you guys for watching. And if you guys have any more questions, let me know down below. And as always, drive safe and stay safe out there. I'll see you on the next one.